Ethan hadn't been on a real date in nearly 3 years. Ever since his wife passed, his world had narrowed down to early morning lunches packed in superhero-themed boxes, bedtime stories read in funny voices, and long nights folding tiny socks while the house hummed with quiet. Being a single dad to 8-year-old Lily wasn't a burden. It was an honor. But somewhere between school drop-offs and grocery runs, he had forgotten what it felt like to be seen as more than just Lily's dad. So when his coworker insisted on setting him up with someone, Ethan almost laughed it off. "You deserve one night," she told him. "Just one." Her name was Ava. They met at a small Italian restaurant downtown, the kind with soft lighting and candles that flickered against exposed brick walls. Ethan arrived 10 minutes early, nervously adjusting the sleeves of his only blazer. He hadn't worn it since a wedding 2 years ago. When Ava walked in, everything else in the room seemed to blur. She wore a simple navy dress, her hair pulled back loosely, her smile warm but slightly cautious. Not flashy, not intimidating, just real. "Ethan?" she asked. "That's me," he replied, standing so quickly he nearly knocked over his chair. The conversation flowed easier than he expected. They talked about childhood memories, embarrassing first jobs, favorite movies. She laughed at his dad jokes, actually laughed, not politely smiled. When he spoke about Lily, Ava leaned in, listening closely, asking thoughtful questions. "You sound proud," she said softly. "I am," he admitted. "She's my whole world." There was no awkward silence. No forced small talk. Even the waiter seemed to notice the spark, smiling as he refilled their glasses. Halfway through dessert, Ethan felt something he hadn't allowed himself to feel in a long time: hope. When he walked her to her car, the air was crisp, the city lights reflecting off the pavement. Ava paused before opening her door. "I had a really good time," she said. "So did I," Ethan replied, meaning it more than he could express. They hugged. It was brief but warm, and as she drove away, Ethan stood there for a moment, feeling lighter than he had in years. On the drive home, he imagined what a second date might look like. Maybe a park. Maybe introducing her to Lily someday, slowly, carefully. He didn't want to rush anything. But for the first time, the idea didn't scare him. His phone buzzed just as he pulled into his driveway. It was a message from Ava. "I need to tell you something. I should have said it tonight, but I didn't know how." His stomach tightened. "I didn't meet you by accident. I volunteer with the Community Family Outreach Program. Your name came up months ago." Ethan stared at the screen, confused. Another message appeared. "You were nominated by someone who said you're one of the strongest single dads they've ever seen. The program highlights parents who've overcome loss and kept going. I asked to meet you because I wanted to hear your story firsthand." The warmth he'd been carrying all evening shifted into something heavy. So it hadn't been coincidence. It hadn't been random attraction. It had been research. Before he could respond, a third message came. "But somewhere between the appetizers and your Lily stories, it stopped being about the program. I didn't expect that part. I hope you believe me." Ethan leaned back against his seat, heart pounding, not from anger, but from uncertainty.